Hello everybody, Anthony Gonzalez with another letter from our mailbag. This one comes from Mark. This actually came through Facebook and is in response to a post we did on a vote that we took on a resolution. The Democrats have been putting resolutions to the floor that have no binding law associated with them whatsoever. They're just statements of the House essentially. I decided to vote present on that. Because I just think it's a waste of time, frankly. It doesn't do anything. I want to work on real policy. So that was what I decided to do. And then this letter, or this note, came in response to that. So Mark, thank you for the note, and here it is. Representative Gonzalez, I agree with your sentiment. It used to be both members of both parties would compromise. Please don't point fingers at the Democratic leadership when the Republican leadership is just as guilty. Doesn't matter what party someone supports, the leadership of both parties are guilty. So what would compromise look like? I hope you would acknowledge the ACA has had some positive effects, eliminating pre-existing conditions, 30 million more people insured, etc. So rather than eliminating the whole thing, compromise would lead both sides to identify and address the biggest problems with it and work on fixing those things. I will point out that the Republican Party has had 9 years to come up with an alternative plan. Now the president says after the 2020 elections. Cost is a huge problem. So I would ask, rather than continuing to tout the party line, you start stepping up and advocating for the American people line. Call your party leadership on the carpet and get your Democratic counterparts to do the same. That's when we will begin to have real change. So first off, Mark, thank you for the letter, and I completely agree with basically everything you said. So let me kind of give you my healthcare perspective on this. You are 100% right that Republican leadership for 9 years has not articulated a healthcare plan. What was articulated last Congress, I would have voted no on. I said that for the last 2.5 years. And I have not seen anything to date that suggests that there is a plan that I'm excited about to support. On the other side of the aisle, we have the Democrats are pursuing Medicare for all. Medicare for all, frankly, would bankrupt our country. I think the biggest problem we have as a nation is that our fiscal deficit and debt is to such an extreme that we literally can't spend money on any other priority. And so if you want to spend money on defense, you want to invest in R&D, you want to support basic research and technology, you want to support healthcare, doesn't matter what it is, we literally don't have the money. And I've been looking at this for the last 3 months. So that's where the state of healthcare is. And quite frankly, it is the most frustrating issue that I hear from constituents when I'm in the district, when I'm talking to folks, whether that's providers, patients, families, doesn't matter who it is. Everybody basically is of the opinion that neither party has figured this out and they just want it fixed. And so I agree with you 100%. Now what am I going to do? What's my plan? Because I have a responsibility to produce one. And so I have come to the point where I've said, okay, I know I don't agree with Medicare for all the reasons I just said. We can't afford it, and I don't think you would like it. I think it would look a lot like the VA system, and most folks don't love that. That's the closest thing we have to a single-payer system, and it's terrible. It doesn't work for our veterans, despite the fact that we have great people working at the VA. So I don't want that, and I don't think you do. So what I'm working on, and what I will work on, and I will produce this well ahead of the next election, is my own plan. A plan that prioritizes a handful of things. So number one, top priority, no American family should go bankrupt as a result of healthcare expenses. You have one bad diagnosis, you get a surprise bill, this should not bankrupt you. We can do that. That is a good policy objective, and we can actually do that. Number two, we need to bring the cost of healthcare way down across the board. Prescription drugs are too high, hospital stays are too high. It doesn't matter wherever you're accessing the healthcare system, the costs are exceeding your pay raises and your ability to actually afford it. And so we need to bring the cost way down. I believe you can do that with market-based reforms where you have real price transparency, where you can actually see, make cost-quality comparisons across all providers. You can't do that at all today. Even if you want a price shop, good luck. It's near impossible to figure out what anything costs. And I think we need to encourage families and individuals to make good healthcare decisions themselves. You can't mandate that, but you can certainly incentivize it because there's almost nothing more personal than your individual health. And so I want to make sure that, again, we're preventing families from going bankrupt. You should never have that worry as an American. We have real price pressure to bring the cost down across the board, and we're encouraging good, healthy behaviors at an individual level. Those are the principles that my plan will adhere to. Now the details, I'm going to be frank, the healthcare system is complicated. It's going to take a couple more months, I would say, of looking through this before I feel comfortable putting out a fully fleshed out plan. I think detail is important. I think you need that. I think everybody in the 16th district needs that. You need to know where I stand on healthcare. You need to know how what I'm advocating for is going to affect you and your family. And so that's my commitment to you. It's something that I've been working on pretty much around the clock since I got here. We've had town halls, I've met with providers, I've met with insurers, I've met with pharmaceutical companies, I've met with pharmacies, basically trying to touch everybody that interacts with our healthcare system. And so I guess my final comment would be, if you have feedback, or if anybody has feedback that's watching this video, please send it in. I want it. I don't have all the answers today. I will not pretend I do. I don't think anybody in this town does, by the way. I think we have a lot of bad answers, but in any event. But I want to hear from you. So please continue to reach out. Please continue to write messages in, either through Facebook or otherwise. And just know that I'm committed to producing something so that you can review it in plenty of time for the 2020 election. You deserve that. Everybody deserves that. And I look forward to doing it. So thank you.